I do want to clear out the misunderstanding and misinterpretation of this video. I do not hate self-taught programmer. In fact, I think that self-taught programming is amazing. I just think that sometimes is misleading for people to think that this is the best path to learn to code. It really depends. But before you disagree with me, just hear me out. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vicky May and I am a full-time software developer living in New York City. You are going to learn so much about learning how to code. We're gonna dive a lot into this topic, web development, and all things related to tech. For the topic for today, I do advise people to learn to code on your own. I'm not saying that no, definitely not learn to code by yourself. What I'm trying to say is that before you decided to learn to code on your own and choosing this path to learn to code, there are certain things that you might not consider, and in today's video I am going to tell you some of the things that you have to consider if you decided that self-learning is the path that you are going to go down to become a programmer. Hey, by the way, if you're wondering how long exactly is going to take you to learn to code and also landing your first development job, I have a video that will help you to determine what kind of learner that you are, and based off what kind of learner that you are, I will give you a in-depth knowledge about exactly how much time that you would need to learn to code and also landing your first development job. Number one is that self-taught or self-learning requires an enormous amount of discipline. That means you will have to learn to know how to manage your time, be consistent, be motivated, as well as avoid all different kinds of distractions. As you might already know, that programmers like me, we sit a lot at our desk. Sometimes we sit more than 6 hours to 12 hours. Especially when you are learning to code, you would require at least sitting down for a good amount of time. I would say minimum at least an hour. So that means if you are one of those people are not thrive to sitting at a desk and trying to focus and trying to teach yourself, then learning to code on your own might not work for you. A lot of times for self-taught developers, it's really hard for them to connect with other people because they're so isolated, which is not true because you can still find so many people in this community who are willing to help you, but they're not right there at your living room, right there at your study room to help you at that moment. So what I'm saying is you gotta know that if you're going down to this path where you decided to learn on your own, you will be alone for most of the time. Motivation is another huge part of staying consistent. A lot of people ask me how exactly they can stay motivated, and actually I make a video about that. You can definitely check it out. But a lot of self-taught programmers, they gave up because there's so many distractions. There's always somebody's birthdays, or there's always a new TV show that comes up that you wanted to watch. If you're not that kind of people that you can discipline yourself, you can say no to temptations, sometimes it's really hard. So strong motivations is a huge factor of being a successful self-taught programmer. Number two is that there are so many resources and contents that are available, especially when you don't have that kind of tech experience. It's really hard to pick and choose to find what exactly you need when you're learning to code. I really wish that the people who just started learning to code would have a really clear direction or even like a roadmap of exactly where they're heading. The truth is, a lot of people spend a lot of time just overanalyzing and trying to decide what they wanted to learn. For instance, I've always hear people asking me, what is the best language to start? Front end or back end or full stack, or should I stick with mobile development? In order to be successful, you would need to have a really clear roadmap of exactly where you're heading, what kind of tech stacks that you're learning, how do you incorporate projects with those tech stacks to allow you to actually learn with those tech stacks. So if self-learning is so hard, how do you make sure that you can be successful when you're learning to code? Okay. So first of all, my channel provides you a lot of different types of career paths that you can proceed, and also most of my videos provides resources as well as roadmaps to help you. I would highly recommend you to check out those type of playlists over here. So now let's talk about a few of the questions that you should be asking yourself before you even decided if you were gonna go down to this path to become a self-taught programmer. Question number 1 is, are you a self-disciplined individual who is highly motivated to learn on your own? Do you know exactly what you want to learn and ideally have a deadline to accomplish learning? A lot of people fail because they don't really have a deadline and they don't really have a plan. You just need a plan with a roadmap and a deadline, and that will motivate you and that will structure you to force yourself to learn. Speaking of structures, number 2 is that you have to ask yourself, have you already have a clear structured plan and environment that allows you to learn efficiently and effectively? There's a lot of self-contained structures and study paths that will help you to start your journey. For instance, have you heard about 100 days of code? And basically that is a challenge that you can code every day, and there's so many resources out there. You can just basically Google that, and also you can look through some of the Udemy courses. There's clear structures on exactly what you need to learn. Number 3 is that, do you have somebody who can consult with you and coaching you along the journey? You're gonna get stuck a lot. Even when I'm at my job, I don't know exactly all the time what to do, and I would have to figure out a way to solve that problem. It's amazing if you will be able to self-solve the problem. You'll be able to find resources on Google or YouTube and help yourself out, right? And that's something that I would recommend you to do more. Or sometimes you just don't have that amount of time to figure it out on your own. You're just not at that level yet. So it helps a lot if you have somebody who can coach you or who can consult with you. Having somebody who can mentor you or coach you or consult with you is a very important factor as considering if you are going to learn code on your own. Self-taught programming is the easiest to start, but it's probably the hardest to be consistent with. What I want is to give you all the context so you can start your journey at a good direction. Learning completely on your own without any help, without any structure is really rough, right? And that being said, I'm not saying that having a structure means that you have to enroll into some kind of coding bootcamp or college. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that this is the idea. You do need some kind of structures, and that would help you to be successful when you are learning on your own. If you stick till right now at this video, I want you to leave a comment down below and saying that start my learning journey with an end goal in mind. It's really important to set your mind with how exactly you're gonna execute your plan. Again, check out a ton of the resources that I mentioned in this channel. Until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Peace.